We live in a world of rapidly deteriorating government accountability and transparency. It's clear that in the United States, at least, the government aims to achieve its own ends in secrecy, without accountability to its people, and in a way that is disgraceful to the Constitution which founded our country.
I will also hold myself as president to a new standard of openness. Transparency and the rule of law will be the touchstones of this presidency.
I'm Eric Reitz, and I am an anonymous web user. I've put together a documentary which will likely change the way you see the world, and especially the United States government. When the project began, it was more about positive aspects of anonymous web communities. Through interviews and in light of recent events, the tone of this documentary shifted dramatically to highlight how the United States government spies on its own citizens, and also to tell the story of Noko, an anonymous web user who took sanctuary in anonymous web communities.
Why should people care about surveillance?
Because even if you're not doing anything wrong, you're being watched and recorded. It's getting to the point you don't have to have done anything wrong. You simply have to eventually fall under suspicion from somebody, and then they can use the system to go back in time and scrutinize every decision you've ever made, every friend you've ever discussed something with.
On June 5th, 2013, NSA contractor Edward Snowden leaked confidential information about covert NSA spying programs. X-Keyscore is an NSA program designed to, quote, collect nearly everything a user does on the internet, and it stores 40 billion internet records every 30 days.
The greatest fear that I have regarding the outcome for America of these disclosures is that nothing will change.
I started getting an interest for privacy from the amount of time I spent online. What became a real issue was the amount of surveillance that was becoming prevalent.
Noko and I first became a part of anonymous web communities when we were still teenagers, because we felt like there was no one in our lives that we could talk to that we really felt like we had a connection to.
I definitely felt outcast from society, and that led me to be more involved with the internet than anything else.
Each of us is born into a society which has its own set of cultural norms, and when you don't adhere to these cultural norms, you're excluded from the group, and you certainly feel it. Online, I found people who understood and accepted me for who I am. The internet can be a wonderful place for people who aren't accepted by their family, by their communities, or who just have interests or secrets that they can't share with other people in their regular, everyday lives. Do you feel that these environments inspire people to express themselves even more openly and feel more accepted than in first world, free societies?
Oh my God, yes. Which generally you're not going to get that in like just normal American culture. You'll just see people ganging up on anyone that seems to be deviating from the norm to a significant degree, no matter how little they're hurting anyone else.
No matter who you are or what you believe, you can go online and you can find people who share your experience. And because what you say can't be traced back to you, you feel able to express yourself without fear of retribution. In the words of 4chan's creator Moot, this is an extremely powerful tool.
We're moving towards persistent identity. We're moving towards a lack of privacy, really. We're sacrificing a lot of that. And I think in doing so, moving towards those things, we're losing something valuable.
There's a reason so many people flock to America and consider it the greatest nation in the world. It's freedom. In America, you have freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of press, and in some ways the NSA's attack on privacy is an attack on the very thing that makes America great.
If we believe in freedom, if we believe that you and I have the right to live our lives without the government knowing what we are doing, then we have got to have a serious debate on this issue, and in fact, we've got to change the law.
Because that's the thing, you can't be threatened by this sort of stuff.
So here's how to fight back. Anyone can download Tor and browse the web anonymously. Instead of using Google, Bing, or Yahoo, users can instead search using DuckDuckGo, where they don't store any of your information. They don't sell information about your search history, where you access the internet from, any of that. It's just a search engine. There's also a popular encrypted messaging tool, Hemless. Hemless offers users the ability to communicate with secure encryption so that even if the US government intercepts your communications, they can't decrypt it or store it in any meaningful way. The biggest takeaway from this is that if you want this to change, you have to take action. Write to your congressman, voice your disapproval, and most importantly, spread the word.